Hey, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whatever you are. Thank you for watching the Daily Huddle Show. I am solo, right? Today, right? I'm missing my partner in crime, my partner in the Bitcoin space. That is Mr. M. He is missing today, and you know what? Honestly, he doesn't know that I'm doing these right now. So I've decided to just do them anyways, right? Why? Because it's the Daily Huddle Show. Duh. And we need some daily huddling. Especially now that Bitcoin's all-time high and stuff like that. Come on, man. Daily Huddle Show. Come on. Need to huddle some Bitcoin. Huddle. Oh boy, yes. Make sure you check out our free classes, right? I'm going to add two new classes, two new free classes. If you haven't signed up, sign up right now, right? And be a part of that, right? Free classes, man. Jesus. Why not? So, with that said, man. Oh, it is a good time. Good times. Bitcoin doing well. TSAT's doing well, of course, because it's pegged to Bitcoin. So, same thing. So yeah, we are happy, joy today. Bitcoin going to easily to 130, right? Even if it was between 130 and 133 was the top, because it could be, but I don't think it will be, right? If it was the top, then Bitcoin would go sideways, and the most we'd see downdraft was like 92, 90 something like that. That's it. That'd be that, right? So, but I don't think we're going to see that. We're going to see Bitcoin continue to go higher, and people continue to deny that Bitcoin is the future currency of the world. If you want to participate with the future currency of the world, right, the best way to do that is with TSATs, right? TSATs, right, which you can find at satoshi15.com. right, is a Satoshi, basically. That's all it is, right? It's a stablecoin linked to Satoshis, right? And you can get 804 of them, right? Why would you bother with a meme coin when you get lots of these Satoshis? That's just dumb. That's why we stopped the what's it called? The soap and towels area, right? We're just feeling disgusting, right? Having to bathe all the time. And when you guys would buy these stupid meme coins, even though we tell you not to, in the hopes of securing your bloodline, this will definitely secure your bloodline, 100%, right? And we can show you how to do it even better in the school. Like, for example, for the long term, right? So that you never sell your Bitcoin, you hold your Bitcoin forever, and so does the rest of your family for the rest of their lifetime, forever. Think about that. That's what you get when you pay for the school. Learning how to do that. Drinking some coffee, enjoying this Bitcoin uptime, because you know what? It won't last, right? It won't last. So anyways, Peter Schiff, he's like, he was, whenever Bitcoin goes down, he does a victory lap, and that victory lap doesn't last, right? As you can tell. He's like on life support here. As Bitcoin, just kicking butt. Okay, Bitcoin chases new highs as crypto market cap crosses $4.21 trillion. Woo! Damn. Yes, you know what? Crypto moving money everywhere, right? This is it. This is look at all the people partying, right? Anonymous figures just partying hard as Bitcoin will continue to rise. And same with the rest of the cryptocurrency spaces. It drags, it raises all boats, right? Bitcoin, right? So it's on a breakout tier. Now, even if it pulls back a little bit from here, it's marked its territory. This is a marked situation. So even if we came back all the way to, I don't know, fill the gap, right? Because by the way, there is a gap here. Let me just show you guys a little bit scary gap here, as you can see. If we were to fill that gap at 1,100 $1,000. Well, Jesus, $111,000. I can't speak. $111,000, right? We would still come and break out here, and eventually. So it is what it is. They can't stop this train. It's going, and that's that. Okay, so speaking about securing your bloodline, this is why I created them, because they show this, and they give you FOMO. Crypto trader turns 3K into 2 million after CZ post sends meme coin soaring. Yeah, this is not happening to you. Okay, you're not selling, right? On each pump, sell. Well, this guy is definitely a trader because he sold on the pumps. He sold lots all the way up. He did one buy and sold lots all the way up. Right? Whenever it pumped, he sold. Whenever it pumped, he sold. Whenever it pumped, it sold. Right? It was taking profits all the way. So he took like $3 million, $2 million in profits. You guys ain't doing that. This is not happening. Take your savings, right? I know you're gonna want to gamble it and try the meme coins anyways. Among you will. I'm not going to, endorse that, and that's just the way it is. People will do it anyways, and so, yeah. If you take the harder route, you're guaranteed, practically guaranteed, right? There's no guarantees in life, right? You could die tomorrow, but you can, work hard and gain something from it. So, for example, when you hold your Bitcoin for a long time, you're gaining something from that. Patience. You're gaining, right? That, hey, you know what? I had to suffer through a lot to hold that, a lot, and so I don't want to just give it up. And this is why you would hold it longer. This is why you have that money for the long run, right? All right, so let's see if there's any questions here. Yes, TSATs. That's what it's all about, man. TSATs. Right? All righty. Bitcoin on exchanges hit the lowest levels in 6 years. Oof, damn. Yeah, because people are buying the Bitcoins and taking it off exchange, locking it away. That's what has to be done. You got to lock that Bitcoin away because the government's going to come and they're going to take it. They're going to take it from wherever you put it. So make sure you put it in your pockets. Most of you don't know this used to be a silver channel. It used to be a channel that was dedicated to silver, getting you to buy silver. Why? Because silver was cheaper than gold, right? And that's the irony. The irony. Now that I think about it, Jesus. I was pushing silver because it's cheaper than gold, and now I'm pushing Satoshis because it's cheaper than Bitcoin. Yet the difference between the two, right, is one is a completely different asset, and the other is an asset backed up by actual Bitcoin. Right? And the backing, right? You're like, okay, well, I don't like the sound of backing. Well, the issue is that backing, right, is on a smart contract. It's not meaning that I don't hold the control of it. The government can't control it, right? I guess they could if they called Solana up. The guy who created Solana said, listen, you're going to have to change Solana so we can get those Bitcoins, right? That's possible, right? It is possible. I have to admit that is possible, right? That is true, right? And then they could take it, right? And there's nothing we could do. But that's the worst case. I don't see that happening, but it's also we have to realize that that's a possibility. And so that's why I recommend that if you make enough Satoshis and you build up enough Satoshis, you take it and move it to the Bitcoin network. Okay? But in the meantime, since we're small, and will remain small for a long time. It will only take up maximum of 1% of all of Bitcoin, right? That's another reason why I kept it low, because I ain't stupid. I ain't stupid, right? I know what's going on, right? Anyways, right? Silver is approaching levels that destroyed it twice. 1980, 2011. I was there down for. I remember that at the same time I was in the Bitcoin, as silver was pumping high, and people thought I was crazy pushing Bitcoin when silver was pumping. And yeah, this is also a big cup and handle, right? Can this turn into a rising wedge? Yes, it can. Unfortunately, yes, it can. Long-term rising wedge. Jesus Christ. But either way, whatever happens, silver will actually go nuclear, right? Because what you don't know about trading is that when you have an asset that goes sideways like this on a low, and then you take that, if it's gone too long on a low levels, it usually goes the same level higher. So on a ratio basis. So this is not a clear ratio, right? From this point to this point, time ratio. Now you have to take out inflation out of this equation, and you'll see that it's even worse, right? If you take out inflation out of this equation here, right, the silver's flatlined and gone down. So that means the thermal nuclear explosion that's about to happen in silver will be absolutely epic. Epic. And it'll happen probably next year. And so $300 silver is probably a low target for next year. Yeah. Think about that for a second. Oh, look at that. The M2 money supply is popping off. So it will come into our Bitcoin space eventually. Right? Silver, maybe a 2-year play, but maybe sooner. Right? I think it's. I was ready to buy. I started buying silver last year. This started during this year as gold, continued to do highs, and I knew that silver was going to do a high for 2025, and yeah, we're here, right? So, okay, pyramid of intelligence. Yeah, well, that's pretty good. High school diploma. Bitcoiners. Yeah, that's funny. But I think this is, I don't know. I hate to insult the Bitcoiners out there, but I think this is upside down. And so, you get dumber and dumber, right? From just dumb all the way to the high school and diploma, smarter people. And here's my logic on that. You're like, what? What? What are you talking about? Well, name all the richest people who built something, not the people who got there by going to school and becoming rich, but the people who built something great. Right? Did they graduate from any of these associate degrees, bachelor, no, master's, PhD? No. They all got a high school diploma. Including moi. Oh boy. Think about that for a second. Yeah, that's something to think about. 6 reasons why Bitcoin is inevitable. Yeah, okay. It's because, duh. That's the number one reason. Because, duh. Oh damn! Wow, I know. I'm playing. No one will ever get BTC. What? If you do that, no one will ever get your BTC out of Sol. What? I don't understand what you mean by that. to announce the mint function. There is no mint function. You're an idiot, man. Again, you're not getting it. you're totally clueless about TSATs, right? Totally clueless. Maybe, let me think. I'm guessing here. You didn't go to the page. You didn't read all the documentation. You didn't read the white paper. You just made assumptions, right? But there are some people who do that, read, right? And there is no admin key. There is no access to those Bitcoins. Thank you very much. Okay, Jesus. Brain dead people, man. Brain dead. This is why. I'm telling you. He's probably a PhD. I'm a PhD. Oh my God. And that's okay. I don't read all the things that are there too. But then again, right? If I'm going to speak about something, I do read it first, right? So I don't make some assumptions, and sometimes I do. I'll admit, but at least I'm willing to accept. Okay, well, maybe I'm wrong, right? And so you know what? If you don't want to read, you could always get ChatGPT to sum it up for you. You say, check out this website and sum up, or ask any questions, right? You do it that way, right? Yeah, maybe we could do it that way. Let's see if the ChatGPT will do it, just for fun, right? Read this website and tell me if they can take my BTC. Okay, Satoshi. I probably should, but that's okay. I mean, I know that it's not true, so I could always just ask it the right questions if it lies, right? Anyways, let's see what it says. That'd be interesting to see, right? What it says. Not directly. Wow, not directly. Interesting. Okay, TSAT for Solon. BTC is tokenized, non-native on BTC. There you go. It's perfect. What's the site actually says is important points. The minting flow. Deposit TBTC to TSATs. Swap it. Yep, that's true. Fixed ratio. Back 1-to-1 reserves. I held on a smart contract provided a proof of reserve. Yep, true. Cannot receive native Bitcoin. Also true. Directly on Solana, during a contract. You can address that on the page. If you could send native BTC on Solana address, it will be lost funds. No, there is no such thing as native BTC on Solana. To use the system, you first need a TBTC. Yeah, there you go. That's true. But you could also buy it, of course, right? It doesn't. That's what's missing here. Audit the smart hard contract. Yes, you can audit that. Yeah. Yeah. Duh. Don't say native BTC on the. There's no way to do that. Phishing and clones. Yes. Walk you through step by step and verify the Solana contract on Solana. Yeah. There you go. You got your personal expert to walk you through the smart contract. Boom. That's it. I love it. I love AI, man. You got your personal expert. Bam. Oh my God. You're just nonstop. Do you think CoinGecko and those guys get it right? They can't even figure out how much is actually out. There's no min key, Jack. Okay? There is no admin key. Jesus Christ. Wow. Okay, it's whatever. You know what? I'm done here. Believe whatever, right? You believe whatever you want to believe, right? Because I had the same problem when I was telling people to buy Bitcoin back in the early days. I look forward to the day that, everybody on the media and stuff like that are impressed with what I build and they're talking about it nonstop, and I get to go to people like you. Right? Because I worked so hard to protect people's assets, right? It's not funny. And I'm just tired of hearing nonsense. Okay? Nonsense. All right. Anyways, let's go back to this. Why Bitcoin? Global access, secure, authentic, privacy protection, low cost, open, transparent, full control. Yeah, sort of like TSATs, right? And you could just ask your chat GPT for the fracking truth. Okay? That's it. Because it goes through it, and you could go, if you question anything, right? It will say, well, hey, listen, we'll go over that too. You got your own personal expert. I don't have to. This is why you know what? I think there's a lot of people out there who understand how to use ChatGPT, whilst you guys don't, because this is why so many people, right? We got a 200K volume yesterday, right? So many people are buying this. This is why we have a circulating supply, right, within a week of almost 300,000 sats. That's $355,000. This is why. There are some people who are brain dead, and some people go, yeah, I'll ask ChatGPT because I know how to do that, right? I have a few brain cells to verify what's going on. Right? Again, pyramid, Mr. PhD over there. Right? And I can't hide from ChatGPT, right? It says not directly, right? That's partially true, right? Because it would require, right? Because it's locked away. There's a three, what's it called, thing. I'll explain it later. Jesus, it's locked away, and it's just too cumbersome to steal the money, right? Just like it would be, it wouldn't be viable, basically, right? Again, it is viable for the government, right? Just so you know, just a phone call away. So, anyways, let's just go on to the news. Let's just see what this guy has to say about crypto.
New types of investments and asset classes, capital formation, credit, like all these things can get reinvented, made more efficient in the crypto world. And that's ultimately what we're trying to do. We're trying to create more economic freedom in the world and update the financial system.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to do, right? I'm trying to build something, right? I'm trying to build something that will help the financial system. You could either participate in it and get rewarded or not. The choice is yours, right? And most of you will not actually participate and then say, "Oh man, I wish I had listened to you, man. Oh man, I wish I had listened to you, man." Oh. And I look forward to that day, man. Because I said, again? I'm going to say, again? But how was I supposed to know? Didn't I tell you that you can check it with ChatGPT because it's an expert? Right? You didn't have that back in 2011. You do now. So you can't hide. You can't hide your scams. Okay? People can't hide their scams. Right? If you do a little bit of freaking research, right? Using ChatGPT, boom. And just $1. That's ChatGPT. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's it. right? I'm tired. I'm tired, right? Of you guys thinking, right? This is not for real. This is real. Anyways, let's see here. Crypto scammy autopsy. Oh, okay. No, I did not want to do this one. Warren Buffett loves S&P 500, but it's down 88% on Bitcoin. Yes, that's right. If you charted it against Bitcoin, man, you're taking some serious beating. That sucks. That sucks. Oh, don't get sucked in again. Yes, true. You're buying the tops here. You know what? If you're buying Bitcoin or TSATs, this is near the top, not at the tops, but we're near the top, right? Just so you know, right? We're not at the top. You're buying near the top, right? So, just as a warning, not a friendly warning to you guys, that although we got some more upside to go, there will be downside. And how much downside there will be, I don't know, right? Yes, threshold to the moon. Threshold is what's backing each of those TSATs, their system, which I went on to explain in my my video that I'm going to be publishing later on. So make sure you watch that, right? Why I chose threshold. Threshold is like, I think we talked about it in the last Daily Huddle show last week. The threshold, the difference between threshold and WBTC. WBTC has more liquidity, but it's a trust me bro token that requires KYC in order to gain access to your Bitcoin, whilst TBTC does not. You just transfer it off to your Bitcoin, what's it called? Transfer it to the Bitcoin network through the threshold network. So yeah, we could talk about that in another day. Okay, this, bro, not even a government shutdown can stop this train. Time to get insurance. Yes, they will continue to increase the money supply forever. You better do something about that. I mean, WBTC is not terrible if you don't mind. You know, if you're super rich and you're a accredited investor, right? Yeah, it is effectively like buying Bitcoin on an ETF. The same thing, just on a chain, right? Where you can do something, you can move it around, right? So it's like an ETF on chain, on Ethereum, Solana, Binance Coin, everything. It's everywhere, right? And so that's it. I mean, you have to compare the two, right? Whilst TBTC is for everybody, right? Anyone, doesn't matter how little or how much money you make, you can transfer your TBTC to BTC without somebody saying, hold on. Spread your butt cheeks for me. Let me take a look. I'm going to make sure there's no gold or anything hiding inside there. Oh, damn. Yeah, that's exactly what has to happen. In order for you to get your WBTC into BTC, it's a long process, right? And it ain't worth it, right? So that's why I chose TBTC, right? As well as the fact that I would have designed. I was planning to design the exact same thing, right? That you would have called Ponzi scam, blah 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 blah, hate on whatever. But, anyways, Bitcoin Ponzi is a Ponzi, right? Yes, that's right. This does not look like a Ponzi. It's exponential growing forever, whilst exponentially shrinking forever. Which would you rather have as money? would you store your wealth? Something that's increasing in supply or decreasing in supply? You're like, what? How's Bitcoin decreasing in supply? Because some people are jacks and not very smart, and they lose their keys. Once the keys are lost, those Bitcoins are lost forever, right? So they can't get them back. Boom. Decrease in supply. And even if those keys, those things were to come back, they were to come back somehow, there's only still 21 million. That's it. Okay, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink says, no one should be surprised if Bitcoin hits 300,000 this cycle. Little bit difficult, but not impossible. And it would be a surprise, actually, based on how Bitcoin is trading. Right, so just keep that in mind, even though Larry Fink says that. It would be shocking for most traders for it to do that. Bitcoin is now listed as one of the most important technological disruptions of past 1,000 years. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Because here's why, right? Just so you know, for all those people who are dumb, deaf, and retarded, right? The people who, got a PhD. I'm going to be on you for a while. Right? Oh, shoot. Did my battery die on this thing? Where is my mouse? There we go. So, for those people who got a PhD, right? The reason why Bitcoin is a technological advancement is because throughout history, right, we could not solve what's called the Byzantine generals problem, right? And that's what Bitcoin solves. Now it's a little bit complicated, and now it connects to Bitcoin, so I'm not going to get into that, right? Bitcoin solved that, right? That considered that puzzle, right, with the consensus algorithm and hashing, block hashing, right? These two features solve that problem, and thus also solves the double spend problem with a digital asset. The digital asset allows it to be fixed in supply and be decentralized, preventing someone like governments to control its supply, control its issuance, and all that kind of stuff. And thus, it's an asset that allows people to actually transfer wealth instantly anywhere they can communicate with. That's it. Boom. So if you could communicate with Mars instantly, you have instant transactions. But you don't need it, right? You don't need it. 10 minutes. That's all that's needed. And you could send your Bitcoin to Mars. Boom. Okay. Fidelity. Now, this is from the title, man. You're like, how the heck did we get to $1 billion Bitcoin? Jesus. We're not even at 100,000. We're going to get to, we're just at we're over 100,000. Never mind. Whoops. Yeah, we're at 125. We're going to get all the way to billion? How's that possible? Yes, it is possible. It's just, by then the dollar's useless, right? That's all. 2038. Yeah, I would say that's possible because then the dollar's useless. Everybody's using Bitcoins, and that's true. Don't go. Listen to this, dude. Don't laugh at that. Don't laugh. You have to understand, right? The issue is, right, this year, right? This is growing at an exponential rate, and you don't seem to understand exponential functions if you're laughing at this, right? Let me explain it to you, right? For your PhD mind. I'm using that for now. From now on, your PhD mind, right? Let's pretend, right, you're in a stadium, right, that is slowly filling in water, and you're locked at the top of the stadium. You're locked in on the chair, right? Every starting with 1 drop of water, doubling every minute. Now the question is, right? If the stadium is 1/8 full, right? 1/8 full. It doesn't look like there's a lot of water there, right? How long do you got to get out, right? You can still see it just filled the field. Just jack water. I'll be all right, right? You see, the human mind doesn't concept that. Doesn't grasp that concept. This is why you're low. That's why you're laughing here, right? That's why you're laughing at this point. You're just like you were chained and you're going, well, I got lots of time. Got lots of time, right? Jack, you only got 8 minutes. Less than that, 4. I just screwed that up. You got 4 minutes. Math is just not a PhD strong suit. Right? 4 minutes. Jesus. That's what this chart's saying. You got very little time. Right? But yeah, you can. You just really just don't get it, right? You just don't get it, and that's okay. That's okay. The rest of us people who, I don't know, only graduated from high school, we get it. We understand math because we remember that game, right? That they played, right? Do you want $1 million right now, right? Or a penny every day for the next 30 days? Who most of you PhDs would want a penny, right? How much would I have if I start with 1 penny doubling every day for 30 days? $5 million. 5 million. 5.3 million. You see, you guys can't see, you can't, your mind can't grasp that. Even my mind can't grasp the number. Right? And that is what's happening to the US dollar. You're not grasping that. Right? That's what's happening here. That's why this is not guaranteed, it's possibility, right? Here's why. It doesn't, like, you're saying, well, does the math work out so that happens? No, but it's based on human action. Here's the problem, right? You don't know when people are going to say, oh, yeah, that's not going to work out. I should get out of the dollar, right? And sell all my dollars, right? Because people are going to, because this exponential growth of the dollars is going to grow to a point where people realize, shoot, I better do something. And when that happens, it's all at once. Right? So try to understand that concept and you'll be rich. Pay back this debt with taxes. You can't. You can't. Because the money, what you don't know, man, Jesus Christ, what you don't know, Mr. PhD, is that every single dollar that's in existence comes from someone going into debt, whether it's governments or yourself or whoever. And they don't create the interest. So thus, in fact, what happens is you have to have more and more debt or else the system collapses on itself. So you can't pay off the debt with taxes because there isn't enough money to pay off the debt. Voila. Right? There you go. So it's only the only end result is more money printing. What if the U.S. uses BTC as a hedge against? Okay. I don't. It's a little bit complicated, right? Because any hedge, right? Like, okay, let me explain how it's complicated, right? All these people, right, that borrowed that has the debt, right? They're owed something. They're owed value, right? And so if you say, no, we'll give you no value at all, what happens is, I'm gonna get to this question here. What happens is that people will say, well, wait a second, you've got all this Bitcoin, so you might as well back a portion of it with the value, right? So there'll still be the debt there, right? There will be a percentage of the debt that will just reduce it, right? And so that will be the issue, right? Because, I mean, the people working at the government are people, and some of them have bonds and some of them don't. And some of them are like, have like, foreign powers pointing their guns at their head and saying, hey, listen, this is what you're going to do, right? So it is what it is, right? And so, yeah, there will be a little bit more, it's a little bit more nuance in that, so that you can't really just, I'll hedge Bitcoin with against all the debt, and you can't do that, right? Because once they have the Bitcoin, then their creditors will say, well, why don't you give us some of that, right? That's the problem. Okay. Alrighty. Oh, I forgot the super chat. Thank you for your super chat. I really appreciate it. From Under the Sun, 100% true. Appreciate your AI strat. I don't know. IA strat you. Okay. Alrighty. See, any more questions? No more questions? United States equals USD, United States debt. Yeah, that is true. That's true. The USD, that's what it stands for. United States debt. And never too late to say, okay. Let's see here. The bull run is not over. We got lots more to go. Dude, let me tell you a secret. TSATs is connected to Bitcoin. So wherever Bitcoin's going, TSAT's going. Right? Tell that to all your PhD friends out there. Okay? Okay. Once again, right? As Bitcoin goes higher, TSATs go higher. So, right, if it goes to 1 billion, that means, right, it's not $1 per TSAT, right? $1 billion, it's $10 per TSAT. If that happens, $10 per TSAT, $10 each. So right now, if that's assuming, that's a big if, right? Which it's not that big of an if. It's possible, right? It's just it won't matter if that happens, right? Right, but when it happens, it won't matter, right? Then this is like, this 800, this $1 goes into, $8,000, right? Right? That's if Bitcoin goes to $1 billion, right? There it is. So that's an example of where it could go. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up here. This is fun. Bitcoin's next bottom, we can only give you an estimate based on guesstimate, based on the top. So we haven't seen the top yet, so we can't say. Yeah. Okay. I don't want to bring up the meme coins. Somebody's asking me for charts on meme coins, and I was going to, but I was like, yeah, screw that, right? Because then I want people to focus on. Yes, meme coins are going to be fine, right? Whatever meme coin you buy, right, and that you're connected to, probably going to still do well, right? If it's still alive today, it's still around the $1 million market cap or more, right? And it's probably just going to continue, right? Why? Because the way Solana works and the way the liquidity is locked. Once the liquidity is locked, what happens is that creates perpetual. Remember what I said about exponential growth? Well, as you trade that particular cryptocurrency or meme coin, a portion of it, a small percentage of it, goes and gets locked away forever, and you can never get it back. Well, that grows exponentially. And like we said, right, it starts small, right, and then it grows big, right, and then it becomes unmanageable until it finally eats up everything, all your meme coins, away, and your meme coin goes like very little is left to trade with, right? So that's how it works, right? And if you don't see that, well, that's why you have a PhD. All right. So yes, will meme coins die completely? No. There will be some meme coins that survive, and some meme coins, the ones that were already rug pulls in the first place, they're gone. The ones that are not rug pulls, they're probably going to stick around, right? Over long term. Okay? That's all I can say about the meme coins, right? But it is better to hold Bitcoin, right? To hold an asset that's long term. Because there's no guarantees that your meme coin is going to go up this year, next year, or in 5 years. Will it go up? Probably. But we don't know when, right? But we can guarantee practically, not quite, absolutely, but practically guarantee that your Bitcoins will go up, your TSATs will go up in the future. All right, with that said, thank you guys for watching today's Daily HODL Show. Hopefully you guys learned how to HODL with both hands, Bitcoin and TSATs for the future, and make sure that you do, if you do HODL TSATs for the future, remember it's not for a long-term HODLing strategy. It's until you get to at least close to a Bitcoin, and you want to get the actual Bitcoin on the Bitcoin network. And that is the goal of this, so that you can actually feel like you are growing your wealth with TSATs. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.